So should you require their advice, please feel free to approach at any time. And congratulations to George and Christina Ioannou for running a great campaign. No doubt you've had the opportunity to meet them throughout the marketing campaign. I'd like to share with you the following announcements, which are in place to have you bidden by with absolute confidence here tonight. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules, and any additional conditions are made available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prevent an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price. The auctioneer will indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. The contract of sale has been on display prior to tonight's auction. We call for a 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer and the signing of the contract to take place here tonight, with the balance to be paid at settlement in a flexible 75 to 90 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything is in there, everything is quite clear. So buyers, this is my highest recommendation. What we offer you first up here tonight, 714 Merino Street. A great opportunity for any first home buyer in the marketplace here tonight. A great opportunity for any investor in the heart of Reservoir, featuring 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, single car garage, access to absolutely all the infrastructure that you need, not only for a great lifestyle, but also for a great investment, because it's that infrastructure which creates capital growth. So if you're here to buy Merino Street tonight, right now is your opportunity, buyers. Where can I see a fair and reasonable starting bid for 714 Merino? Who'd like to start us off?
400, Rob.
At 400,000, a fair start on the phone with George at 400,000 now. At 400 the bid. At 400,000.
That's 420.
At 20 now. I was going to ask for 20. They read my mind. At 20 now. 420,000. At 420,000 bids at 20 now. At 420. At 420,000, one bid won't be enough here tonight. George at 420, make it 40 in the rise. At 420 and 40, was that 40? Or was that a suggestion you're making on the phone? At 420,000. At 440 now. At 440,000, fairly bid offered now. 80 and a great bit of that at $480,000. That's how we buy property. Big bids buy property at 480,000. At 480,000, fairly bid offered now with Christina at 80. At 480,000, make it 500. Even money in the rise at 500,000. 5,000 at 480. I'm going to assume the higher number, George, at 485 now. At 485. At 485,000, fairly bid offered now. 485 at 95 now. At 495, the bid got to be 500 now. It's got to mean 500. At 495. At 495,000, fairly been offered now at 495. Once at 495,000, we done. Twice at 495, the bid done. Finished. Third, final call at $495,000, the bid all done.
Is it on the market?
All finished. No, sir, but we're extremely close, and I can tell you with absolute confidence that if we don't reach the vendor's reserve price here tonight, we're that close that only the highest bidder will have the opportunity to pay that reserve, and the opportunity will be taken. That's how close we are. So if you are here to bid, I implore you, bid me now. Show me your interest. Put yourself in the box seat at 495. The bid's there with Christina on the phone. You have an opportunity now, sir, to get involved in the proceedings.
We'll give you one.
And I'll take the one at 496. That's how close we are at 496. At 496. At 496,000, fairly been offered now. 496.
500.
At 500,000 now. 5 zeros. At 496 and a half.
500 clear.
At 500,000. At 500,000. I was right on that occasion. At 500,000, sir, we're on the market now. We sell here tonight. At 500,000, the bid's there, the keys are there. If you want those keys, you must bid me now. At 500,000, we're on the market. We sell away, no better bid. At $500,000 bid on the phone with Christina. First call. At 500,000, are we done? George, let them know we're selling here tonight. No second chances. Once the hammer falls, sold is sold, gone is gone. At 500,000, bids there, keys are there. We sell away in the event of no further bidding here tonight. At 500,000 once. At 501, so welcome back just in time at 501 now. At $501,000 a bid. At 2 on top. At 502.
2,000.
At 503. At 503,000 now. 503,000, fairly been offered now at 503. Don't walk away for 2, sir. At 503,000, bids back there, keys are back there. Opportunity still with you, sir. George's buyer tells me they're out at 503,000, fairly been offered now.
I'll give you 500.
At 500, 503 and a half. at 503.5. That's fine, sir. We'll go the long way around. Just means my pasta will be cold. At 503,500.
505.
At 505 now, 505. At 505,000, bid back there. I'll still take the half if you got it, sir. 505,000. Fairly been off now at 505. We're on the market and selling. We play for keeps at 505 the bid.
I'll give you 250.
At 250 I won't take, so I'm not that cheap. At 505. At 500, can you confirm the bid for me?
Yeah.
At 505.
505.
At 505. I'll take your 500, so not 250 though. Can I say 505 and a half now? At 505,500, fairly been offered now. 505 and a half. At 505,500, fairly been offered. Bids here, keys are here now. At 505.
$500.
At 500, 506 now. At 506 the bid. At 506,000, so you got the competition down to $1,500 bids. The best response to a small bid though is always a big one. At 506,000, the bid's there. Back there on the phone, keys are there. Opportunity still with you. Won't be for long. I'm about to sell. At 506,000. Once at 506. Done. At 7 now. At 507,000. At 507 the bid. At 507 and 8. At 508 the quick return at 8 now.
510.
At 510, I apologise. At 510,000, selling the investment short. 510 now. At 510,000, fairly been offered now. 510 the bid. At 510,000, fairly been offered bid there. Keys there. Once at 510. And 11 now, 511. At 511,000 now, fairly been offered at 511. At 511's back against your buy, Christina. At 511 the bid. Let them know we sell here tonight. At 511,000, fairly been offered. First call at 511,000, all done. Twice at 511, done. Finished.
Go an extra 1,000.
At 512, at 512,013, again the quick retort. At 513,000, at 513,000, bids back here, keys are here. At 513, at 513,000 in the room at 513. At 513,000, first call, second call, third, final call, 513 the bid. Are we done? Finished? Silent? Out? At 513,000, it's against your bid. Bid's here in the room at 513.
Sorry, the other guy.
At 513,000. I thought they were leading, they're not. At 513. At 513,000, bids here. At 1,014. At 514.
500.
At 514 and a half now. 514,500. At 514 and a half now. At 514,515. Is that right? At 515. At $515,000 the bid now. 515 the bid. At 515,000 back on the phone. Keys with Christina. At 515,000. Opportunity still with you though, sir. At 515 the bid. First call at 515.
500.
At 515 and a half. At $515,500 the bid. Once at 515 and a half, done.
Oh, wait.
Twice at 515 and a half, done. Finished. They got one more call to go.
Second, Rob, please.
Third, final call, 515,500 the bid, all done.
Can you wait one more second, please?
I'm going to have to find some fillers, Christina. 515 and a half bids there, need to know. At 515 and a half,
147.
don't want to put pressure on them, but at 500, we're on the market and selling. They need to arrive at a decision at 515,500, in or out.
He's out.
Definitely done. Thank them for their bidding here tonight, and to your buyer, George. At 515,500, bids there, keys are there. Once, twice, third, final call, 515 and a half, all done, all finished, silent and out. We're selling. Is that a half back there, sir? Now, if you come to my auctions and put your hand up, you're going to take your money. We're sold. Congratulations, sir. Thank you for your